This past summer, we reported on herbicide resistance in weeds from a field day near Fremont. We told you then Nebraska had 8 weed species resistant to at least one herbicide, with 5 weeds having resistance to glyphosate. The state has now 6, with the addition of common ragweed. One of the challenging weeds Nebraska growers have wrestled with is waterhemp. At the recent Nebraska Soybean Day and Machinery Expo, we discussed field trial results aimed at controlling the weed with Lowell Sandell. Formerly of Nebraska Extension, Lowell currently works with Valent, but updated farmers at the event about his earlier research.
So the Soybean Board has funded our project on doing grower education and research around resistant weeds for the last 3 years. And we've been at the Fremont site for 2 years, and we're up here at the Soybean Expo talking about some of the results from our Waterhemp site here.
What were the things that you looked at this site here?
So one of the things I think is most pertinent to growers is our pre followed by post program system or trial that we looked at. And the good news on this is we proved through this that a very solid pre-emergence program followed by a diversified post that includes more than just glyphosate can provide really good control of glyphosate-resistant water hemp and maintain producer yields at the levels that they need to be.
How widespread was water hemp last year in Nebraska fields?
You know, we confirmed this 3 or 4 years ago in Nebraska, and it's been prevalent here in the eastern part of the state. As we drove around through the growing season, it seemed like there were more problems popping up in the central and south central part of the state with both water hemp and some Palmer amaranth issues out there. So even with the awareness message that we've had for the last few years, we're still concerned that there's adoption that folks need to do for a more diversified program.
You look out towards 2015 and you see how tight margins are going to be for farmers. Is this an area that people will think about looking at cutting in?
You know, it's possible. I really hope that the herbicide program is not one of those areas where folks look at making big cuts with the lower commodity prices. Kind of the unfortunate reality is water hemp and Palmer amaranth seed banks in the field, those seed banks are there when they have to be managed, and water hemp doesn't really care what commodity prices are out there. That's just kind of an unfortunate reality of that. And paying attention to what rate that we select for our pre-emergence program. There's a lot of good options that farmers have out there. It's more about rate and being real timely with the pre's and post-emergence applications.
So in addition to the resistance problems we already have, there are new varieties of seed coming onto the market that will allow growers to better target some of the resistance issues, but overall, what does that mean for the grower?
Yeah, I think you're talking about enlist soybeans and some of the dicamba-tolerant soybeans that are potentially coming on the market in the next few years out there. And in soybeans for water hemp, it represents a nice tool that folks are going to have to control, or I should say another mode of action that folks are going to have to control problem weeds like water hemp, mare's tail, and some of those. But the thing we really got to keep in mind on that is the same principles for good weed management that we've talked about, strong pre-emergence, still multiple modes of action, are still important even with the new traits.